Montanans all over the state are facing a housing market that for many is unaffordable or just takes a huge chunk of their income. I'm just wondering, as a member of Congress, what can or will you do to attack this problem?
This problem has two prongs to it. First off, it's a state's responsibility. I realize everybody wants the federal government to do everything for them, but it's unfortunate that we owe $39 trillion and we're already spending $2 trillion more a year than we take in. If we get a balanced budget amendment and over the next 5, 6, 7 years actually come to a balance in our actual spending, then that means it's going to stabilize our economy. We can't fix this problem overnight, and it wasn't caused overnight. But we have to look to the future for the next generation and the generation after that. Realize children born today will be alive in the 22nd century. That's staggering when you stop and think about it. And if our government doesn't start planning for that, housing will be the least of our worries, trust me. But I think that it's the state's problem, and the state has the solution, and so does the city. Cutting these draconian requirements for building houses could be the first step. Thank you.
Ms. Neal, your response.
We need to ask, how will our children live here? How will future generations of Montanans live here? We need federal infrastructure dollars to go to housing incentives for our veterans, for low-income families, for renters, and we need these incentives to work for people on the ground now. We're already in a housing crisis. We need to help every Montanan compete in this market. And the Montana legislature needs to provide some property tax relief for our seniors.
Thank you, Mr. Blackwell.
Yes. You know, so in Montana right now, since 2018, our housing prices have shot up over 90%. That's more than 50% they were in just 2018. If we think about that for a second, that is absolutely ludicrous. That absolutely outprices anybody that makes $100,000 or less in Montana. To me, that's absolutely outrageous. And the way that things are set up right now in this country, in this economy, you know, it's basically benefiting out-of-state investors who are coming and buying in single-family homes, consolidating all of those, turning them into rental units. As your senator, I will fight to limit large-scale investor purchases and to support community investment into our own state, our own backyards. And it's true, it's a state issue. However, because it's such a large housing crisis, any help from anywhere, including the federal government, I think would be greatly welcomed.
Thank you, Mr. Blackwell. And finally, Ms. Bankhead, your response.
Yes, first and foremost, we're going to take corporate entities out of our housing. Everybody deserves access to housing, but there are going to be a number of other things we do at the federal level to make things easier for Montanans to purchase their own house. Number one, we have this amazing law on capital gains, and currently the limit's $250,000. If we raise that limit to $500,000, we know that people are going to start selling houses, and that's going to open up additional inventory, which is going to lower the cost of housing. Additionally, we've talked to a number of construction companies and talked about taxes being their biggest burden. So I'm offering tax breaks to companies that are in construction and other tangential businesses to get tax breaks if 30% or more of their portfolio, it consists of affordable housing, which I define as $350,000 or below.
Thank you. The next question goes